There was this really brief incident about 5 years ago, and it's a very strange one. I was camping with my boyfriend Christian and two of his friends. We were out there for 3 days and would have left the next day if not for the next set of events I'm about to tell you. We woke up around 7 in the morning and it was 9ish by the time we finished breakfast. Christian and I were going to go for a hike and his friends had planned to fish at the lake for the day. We were about to go our separate ways when a girl came running out of the woods screaming for help. She was beaten up pretty badly and the first thing she asked us was if we had guns with us. We told her no and she pleaded to us that we all had to run. When Christian tried to calm her down, she told us that she was leaving and implored us to leave the mountain as well. She said, "Forget about your stuff and just run." She tried to run away after that, but Christian caught up to her in seconds. He grabbed her by the arm, told her that we were leaving as well, and that she stood a better chance at getting off this mountain in our SUV. Christian's friends were against the idea of leaving without our stuff, and my boyfriend responded angrily, "Look at her, you morons," pointing to the girl. He continued talking while showing his friends the deep cut on the girl's back. "Does this look like something that she's done to herself? I'm taking Miranda and her with or without you. I suggest you come with us, you freaking idiots." Christian held my hand, told the girl to follow us, then the three of us ran at full speed toward our vehicle. The friends followed us only seconds later and we safely escaped the mountain. We took the girl to the nearest police station. There, we told the cops what we knew, which wasn't much. They made copies of our IDs, took down our contact information, and that was it. As for the girl, we saw her being taken in an ambulance before we left the police station. 2 days thereafter, the police picked up our things from the camp and told us to come get them. I was hoping they would have an update on the case, but unfortunately they couldn't tell us much. I kept insisting at one of the deputies that they owe us an explanation. I told them that we camped there all the time and that we'd have to know if the mountain wasn't safe anymore. The young deputy gestured for me and Christian to come outside and we followed him. He told us this: "I can't tell you exactly what happened to the girl because she's gone completely mental. She tells us that it wasn't a person that's done it to her. But then she also says it was neither a wild animal. She keeps mentioning about a hideous creature and goes into a state of shock whenever she's forced to recall the event. We've been barred from talking to her by the doctors. We were told not to interview her until she gets better, mainly mentally. We've been searching the forest since day one and were unable to find any significant lead to the case. My suggestion is for you and your friends to stay out of these woods for the time being. Based on the wounds on the girl, we think that it was a wild animal that's attacked her. She's probably thinking creatures and monsters because she's still in shock. Just take your things and don't come back for a while." And that was it. We never heard anything more from the police, and we certainly haven't gone back camping in the same area. I honestly don't know what could have happened to that girl on that day. If there's one thing that I can tell you, is that I've never seen anyone with so much fear in their eyes. That girl was absolutely terrified of something. So I think by now everyone knows about the mysterious boom sounds unless they've been living under a rock. Well, I happened to hear it for the first time on my last camping trip. This was about a month ago and my friends and I were in the middle of the woods in search of the campsite we had originally planned to go. Basically, we got lost while trying to get to our destination. That resulted in everyone getting frustrated and one of my friends had called it quits. The same friend took out his compass and told us we should head east to come across the main road. That sounded better than doing circles around the forest, so we headed east in hopes to find civilization. We must have walked for about 20 minutes when everyone stopped in their tracks simultaneously. The thing is, the forest started singing. And singing is the appropriate description of the sound because I tell you, it sounded like the lower pitch version of the whale cries. I can tell you right now that it wasn't an animal because the amplitude of the sound was truly immense. I could feel the sounds bouncing off my skin and giving off that tingling sensation on top of my head. It was by far one of the most magnificent and at the same time the most terrifying sounds I had ever heard with my ears and felt on my body. We hauled ass right away and eventually came across the main road some half an hour later. The sound, by the way, continued for about 20 minutes until it stopped abruptly. I know there are many variations of the mysterious boom sounds, and what we heard, I believe it's one of them. In any event, I've been camping my butt on my couch ever since. I enjoy playing on my PS4 in the safety of my couch far more than being sung by the forest. My dad told me to go out a little more and I tried. I like the city, and nature, you scary. Last week, I went camping for the first time in my life with 3 of my friends who consider themselves to be expert campers. Brian, Lawrence, Michael, and we've been friends since the time we couldn't even speak. I know it doesn't make sense. I just mean to say that our parents are all friends. The 3 of them are outgoing and boisterous. However, I'm the complete opposite of that. I can't for the life of me understand how we continued to be friends for so long until the age of 26. But we are, and we've been inseparable ever since we came to know each other. In any event, we set up camp. Well, they set up camp, and we were sort of lounging around the campfire, complaining about our jobs, our bosses, and girlfriends. Then, in the middle of a conversation about Michael's boss, I heard something move near the tree line behind my back. I got up, turned around, and told the guys, "Hey, I think I heard something move over there." Lawrence threw a pebble on my feet and said, "Oh, our baby Jonathan scared the woods. You poor little thing. Do you need a hug, princess?" "Shut up, numbnuts," I shot back. And that's when Michael told everyone to shush and said, "Jonathan's right, there's someone out there." That's when Lawrence got up and shouted, "Whoever's out there, we're not gonna bite ya. Don't be shy, please come out and say hi." Right after Lawrence said those words, I saw him backpedal, trip on the tent line, then his ass kissed the ground. A man had come out of the woods and that scared the crap out of Lawrence. I don't mean to embarrass my friend. Lawrence can get a bit cocky and loud sometimes, but more often than not, he backs up his brashness with his huge balls. This time, however, it was different in that the man from the woods showed up with a rifle in his hands. It was intimidating at the very least. The man walked toward us with a creepy grin on his face and said, "You can bite me if you want, but I can't guarantee that I won't shoot you. So how about it, sissy boys? Want to take a bite?" We were all quiet. A huge rifle held by a mean old man has that effect on people. By the way, this dude, he looked put together. He was wearing some fancy hunter outfit. He was also shaved and his hair was well groomed. He looked nothing like someone who'd be creeping on strangers in the woods. As far as appearance goes, he looked normal. I think that's what made him even scarier, if that makes any sense. After a short period of silence, Lawrence finally spoke. "Look man, we don't want any trouble. We thought we heard something, my friend got spooked, and we were only making a joke out of the situation. We meant no offense, so why don't you go do your thing in the woods and we'll mind our own business." The man stared at us intently. He looked each and every one of us in the eyes for what felt like an eternity, then said, "Yeah, you boys stay here. Don't be walking around the woods when I'm hunting. It'd break my heart if I shot one of you mistaken for a deer." He then walked back into the woods and we thought that was the end of it until shots were fired in our direction. We all hit the ground and could only pray that we wouldn't get hit. I counted 7 shots fired, and it was incredible how the sounds echoed in the woods. It almost seemed like we were getting shot from all directions. The shooting stopped, and right away we asked each other if anyone was shot. Thankfully, everyone was okay. I can't say the same for the tent, however. It was shot up pretty badly. In fact, it must have been the tent that the crazy hunter was aiming at. I guess if he wanted us dead, we'd be dead. As you might imagine, we packed up and left right away. We called the police, gave our statement, but nothing came of it. The shooter shut up our tent and got away with that. There's little chance that I'll ever go camping again, but if I do, I don't think I'm going without packing heat. Exactly 27 years ago from today, I was out camping with my dad and brother on a remote mountain. I remember the exact date because it was my 11th birthday, and I had asked Dad to take me on a camping trip for my birthday gift. My mom passed away from cancer when I was only 9 years old. I remember we used to go camping all the time when she was healthy. She really loved nature and seemed like a completely different person whenever we were out camping. Mom played the role of the enforcer in our household, and Dad was the negotiator that worked things out between us and Mom. The point is, she was strict in the way she brought us up. However, that wasn't so much the case when we were out camping. Out in nature, Mom became one of us. She became a child as well. That's why I love camping. It brings back wonderful memories of Mom, and not to mention today, I'm making my own set of pleasant memories with children of my own. But yeah, 27 years ago on my 11th birthday, I was out camping with Dad and Miles because I wanted to remember Mom. Our campsite was situated at about 2/3 of the way to the summit. Therefore, we had a high vantage point and a really beautiful view of all nature below. At around 9 p.m., we were getting ready to hit the sack. The campfire was still going strong, and me and my brother were begging our dad to tell us another scary story before going to bed. Dad was laughing one moment, but then he suddenly got up and quickly put out the fire, tossing rocks and dirt on top of it. I kept asking him what was going on, but Dad told us to wait and grab the binocular. I remember thinking why he would try to look through the binocular at this time of the night and in this place where there's not a single artificial light. A minute later, he gave me the answer as he said, "Okay guys, it's probably nothing, but I see a group of maybe 30 to 40 people with torches in their hands. They're probably just local people looking for something or someone. I'm not really sure, but what I am sure is that they're not search and rescue, nothing official like that. I'm just being cautious here, so I don't want you guys to be scared. We still have plenty of time before they get close to our location, and I'm sure they haven't seen our fire. This is what we're going to do. We're going to pack things up, stay off the main trail, let those people pass, then we'll hike down and go back to our car." I couldn't understand it back then, but I think Dad was probably worried that those people with torches were possibly cultists. At any rate, Miles and we helped with what we could, but Dad packed everything up so fast that we hardly did anything. After that, Dad took us as far as he could off the main trail. I say as far as he could because we didn't move that far off. I believe he was worried that we might get lost if we lost sight of the trail. So we waited there until the torch people would pass. I'm not fully certain, but I think about 20 minutes must have passed when the people with torches were passing through the area of our campsite. They were carrying something in what seemed like a makeshift stretcher, and they kept repeating some weird phrase over and over again. They sounded like Latin words to me at the time. Dad gestured for us to stay low and quiet. We didn't panic, we didn't move, and calmly waited until they passed us. A couple of minutes had passed after that, and Dad whispered to us, "Guys, we're gonna get back to the main trail and go back to the car." He then handed us a rope that was tied to his waist and said, "You hold on to this and don't let go. You call out for me quietly if you lose grip of it. Remember, it's easy to get lost out here in the dark. We have to stick together. You got that?" Miles and I both nodded, then we began the trek back to our car. It took a while, but Dad got us back to the car safely. We drove off the base of the mountain, and I remember passing by a police station, but we didn't stop. Dad didn't even call the police. I asked him why many years later. I think I was in my freshman year in college when I asked him why he wouldn't call the cops. He told me this: "It's probably because I watched one too many horror films. At the time, I didn't think that we could be so unlucky that we would bump into the cultists on their first ritual outing. I didn't think they were there for the first time. And if so, how could the police not know? I mean, you're talking about 30 to 40 grown men marching through the mountain with torches in their hands. How do you miss that? So I figured they must be in on it as well. And I'm not saying that I'm certain of that. For all you know, they could have been, I don't know, just some weirdos playing out their fantasies. But it didn't matter what they were or that the police were in on it. I had you and your brother with me, and my job was to get you guys safely back home. That's all I thought of on the mountain and while I was driving you guys back home. So yeah, that's why I did nothing. 1, I didn't want to risk anything, and 2, what would the cops do if they caught the torch people? Give them a summons for carrying open flames on a mountain? Maybe I should have called the police. You might be right about that. But sweetie, I think I'm a decade too late for that. So yeah, that was his reasoning, and I gotta say, I understand him. I can't imagine how terrifying it would be if I were in the same situation with my kids. I think Dad did just fine. As for the torch people, who knows what they were, but surely they were weirdos. It's all in the past now, but I thought I'd share this story with you on my birthday, on the day that it happened. This is the scariest experience I had in my life, and thank God for that. Once is more than enough. Hey guys, Dennis here. I hope you've enjoyed the stories and hopefully they put some smile on your faces because I come bearing some crappy news. So my channel contents are getting mass flagged again, and what makes me so mad is the fact that these are all harmless videos. I've stopped cussing in my videos for the longest time. I said ass on this video because I get flagged regardless of whether I cuss or not. But yeah, I no longer deal with truly shocking and or controversial stories. Lastly, I've stopped using graphic images on my videos. No, check that. I've never used graphic images. I just toned it down from the images that may have shown some blood or minimal violence. Like say an image of a man making the pose of suggesting that he's about to dish out a can of whoop ass. Okay, let's say for the sake of argument that the ghost stories from Asia are too shocking. Brrr. Let's give that to YouTube. Let's also say that the glitch in the matrix and UFO stories are way too controversial. Let's give YouTube all of that and say they did the right thing by flagging those videos. It's BS, but let's just roll with that for now. But what about these videos? The bizarre and spooky. I get these stories from the mainstream science websites and at times on general news websites such as npr.org, abcnews.com, and telegraph.co.uk, and so on. You get the idea. How in the world are stories from those websites that Google considers quote-unquote real news somehow become appetizer unfriendly when I cover them on my channel? Does that make any freaking sense to you? Now, let's make it clear. This isn't about money. I've said it time and again, I make crap on this channel. I used to make crap when I used to average 5,000 views per video, and I make even less crap today now that YouTube has killed my channel to the point that it barely averages 600 views. The reason why I care about getting flagged and demonetized is because the contents get killed in search rankings and in the recommended views when they are deemed appetizer unfriendly. YouTube will tell you that the demonetization does not affect the overall exposure of the videos, but that's a big load of crap, and I'll explain why. If you are YouTube and you've got two set of videos, one you deem appetizer friendly and it'll make you money. The other you refuse to run ads on it because no, it's family unfriendly. If you are running YouTube, which video would you suggest for your viewers to watch? YouTube's BS about demonetization not affecting views is uncovered that easily, because you only need common sense to figure it out. My subscribers, I used to get so many emails and comments from them telling me that they stopped receiving notifications to my videos. I've gotten so sick of that I've stopped complaining about that to YouTube. My yapping does nothing. If I kept my contents the same as before the whole apocalypse, then I wouldn't be this mad. But I'm fuming here because I have made so much effort to keep within their guidelines, and my contents for the longest time have been dulled at the edges. What do they want YouTubers to do with their contents if videos about mainstream science news get flagged? I'm at a loss here, really. Do you guys have any guess as to what is okay and not okay on YouTube? I've got nothing against sunshine and rainbow channels like Good Mythical Morning, Dude Perfect, and Casey Neistat of the world. I mean, more power to them since they already happen to make contents that YouTube loves. But if only positivity, lovey-dovey channels are suitable for this platform, then why do they even allow us to exist here in the first place? Right now, I can't even get a manual review for the flagged videos because my videos no longer even reach 1,000 views. That's right, your videos need to get 1,000 views within a span of the last 7 days in order for YouTube to perform a manual review. So my current videos, they are fudged. If I can't tell ghost stories, glitch in the matrix, UFO encounters, and even discuss about mainstream science news, then where do I go from here? I don't know what else to say, guys. The mass flagging has reduced this channel from averaging 5,000 views to 500 views. I keep gaining new subs every month in spite of all the obstacles, but my new subs don't even get my new videos delivered to their sub box. It's demoralizing and it's just wrong. I'm sorry to end the video on such pessimistic notes, but YouTube has lost its mind. You know they're drunk in virtue signaling when they start flagging videos about mainstream news on science. I can't make sense of insanity. I'm sure you guys can't either. This video has gone long enough though. I'm sorry for complaining for too long. Whether it's day or night where you are, enjoy your day or night. Be well. I'll still see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.
Advertiser unfriendly, family unfriendly, no more fetch. We need lovey-dovey smiley to reach 1 million views.
That's right, you are not ABC, NBC, CBS, Logan, or Jake Paul. You plebs play by different rules. Ha 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 ha.